Next step, I want to show you how you can apply some other types of lines to your contour line shell drawing to help imply light and shadow more. So as you can see here in my photograph, my shell is illuminated on the left-hand side and it has a lot of shadow on the right-hand side. And instead of shading that, right, because this is our line unit and we're really just trying to exploit line here in this drawing, I'm going to apply some other types of line work with my Sharpie, with my markers. One is called stippling, or some people say stippling, and the other is called hatching. Okay, so stippling. Stippling is when you make a buildup of dots to show a shadow area. Lightly applied dots like this that are sort of spaced out will show kind of like a medium value or shadow. But the more you build them up, the darker the shadow will be. So in areas where you have some darker shadows, you could apply some stippling in order to indicate that. The more layers I add to this, the deeper the shadow will look. You can see that I've applied stippling here with a combination of other marks in this very shadowy area of my shell drawing. The other is hatching. And hatching is when you use lines a buildup of lines, just like the stippling above, to show shadow. The more dispersed the lines are, the lighter the shadow will look. The more you build up those lines, the deeper the shadow will look. I applied hatching techniques to these shadow areas in my shell. So I'm going to continue adding more hatching and stippling to my drawing to make it match the photo a little more because this really is very much in shadow. Now to imply that so far, I did thicken up my cross contour lines here, the ones that go down and the ones that go across. If you notice, the line varies and I made the line thicker as it moves that way. So that does help to imply shadow. I also put a thicker, heavier line down the right-hand side in any area where there was a deep shadow on my shell. But to imply that even further, or to show that shadow even further, I'm going to add some hatching and stippling throughout my drawing. So now that I've added lots more hatch work, I'm gonna add a bit more stippling to some areas. I'm gonna focus a little bit on this shell more, the areas that are more in shadow in my picture. So you might be thinking, well, I thought we were just doing lines. How come I can add dots to this? But if you think about it, a dot is just a really short line. If you continue drawing the dot, it turns into a line. So in the art world, a dot is really just a very short line. So you can add dots to your line work as well.